What if I told you that our world, which prides itself on being so modern, has actually declared a hidden war on male nature? And it seems men are losing this war by a landslide. Sounds like the setup for a blockbuster, right? But let's put the popcorn aside and think for a second. Millions of years, just dwell on that number, millions of years of evolution shaped man as a hunter, as a protector, as someone who builds, takes risks, competes. This energy, this ancient firmware is deeply, deeply ingrained in everyone. But what does the world tell him today? Hey buddy, be quieter, be more accommodating. Your strength? Well, it's kinda not really needed. Your aggression? Ugh, that's toxic. And your role? Oh, that's totally outdated. And right there, that's where a huge crack appears. A rift between who a man feels he is by his deep nature and who society forces him to be. This very rift, my friends, is the real, unadulterated masculinity crisis. It's not just about some slight confusion. It's about a profound internal conflict with oneself. Of course, let's not over-dramatize. There are also pluses in this, and they are, I must say, enormous. For the first time in human history, a man doesn't have to be that rock. He can openly talk about his feelings without fear of being labeled a wimp. He can be involved in raising children, not just chasing a career. He can be a sensitive artist and not necessarily a brutal warrior. The pressure of those old, suffocating stereotypes, it's fading. And what is that? That's freedom. Freedom to be not some real man from an advertisement, but just yourself. But as often happens, every coin has two sides, and this freedom has a very dark side. When old, familiar roles are abolished and no new, clear roles are offered in return, what emerges? That's right, a void. And nature, as we know, abhors a vacuum. And if this powerful energy, which for millions of years pushed men to the most incredible feats, building entire civilizations, discovering uncharted lands, protecting their families, if this energy doesn't find a constructive outlet, then what does it start to do? It starts to destroy. And unfortunately, first, from within. Just look around. There it is, the quiet quitting from the labor market. Men who just stop trying, stop fighting. Why? If their contribution, their efforts, seem to be devalued. Millions of guys have retreated into virtual worlds. Why? Because there, behind the screen, in some game, he can once again be that very hero. His achievements there really matter. He gains respect, status, that recognition he so desperately lacks in real life. Because there, his natural urges for competition, for dominance, are suddenly considered wrong. It's an escape. A bitter, desperate escape from a world that just doesn't know what to do with you anymore. And what about relationships? Evolution programmed men for the hunt, for pursuing a goal. And now what? An endless, tiring carousel and dating apps, where there are no rules, no clear goal. It's like releasing a predator born for the chase into a supermarket with hundreds of ultimately identical packages. What will he do? Get lost. Get confused. The result? Paralysis of choice, apathy, and that profound loneliness that everyone talks about so often. And this brings us to what is perhaps the most dangerous moment. When a man feels absolutely useless, lost, abandoned, his deep instincts, they don't disappear, believe me. They just look for another way out. And they find it in radicalism, in strange political cults, in secret online communities where he's finally hammered into his head, yes, you're right, your strength is needed. This world has rotted to its core, and only we know how to save it. The ancient energy of the warrior, which didn't find its application in creation, it inevitably turns to destruction. But perhaps we shouldn't blame only the modern world for everything and say that things were better before. That would be, well, too easy, because the traditional cult of masculinity was, in essence, just as much a cage, and not just for women, but for men themselves. It forced them to hide their emotions, to shoulder an utterly unbearable burden, to break under its weight, just because real men don't cry. What nonsense, right? So what the heck are we supposed to do now? Where do we go? We stand at such a huge historical crossroads, and before us, it seems, are two global paths. The warning: the first path is to try to cancel male nature altogether, to declare it a relic, outdated garbage, to force men to adapt, to suppress all their instincts, to become such genderless and maximally convenient for everyone. But as we've already seen, what does that lead to? To apathy, to hidden, smoldering aggression, and to a total loss of meaning. And the second path is to acknowledge the existence of this ancient, powerful energy, and to find a new, modern, constructive channel for it in the 21st century. To stop seeing healthy competitiveness as some kind of toxicity and the pursuit of risk as recklessness. Perhaps this very energy is what humanity needs right now to solve the most grandiose problems of our time, to make incredible scientific breakthroughs, launch colonies to Mars, create masterpieces of art that will change the world. The question isn't just about bringing things back to how they were. That's impossible. The question is how to use our deep nature to build a completely new future. So, should men suppress their essence just to fit in with the new world? Or should society find a way to use this ancient, powerful force? There's no single, easy answer. No. There's only a difficult choice. A choice that each of us makes for ourselves personally, and a choice that we all make together as humanity. And what do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments.